You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's favorite college football show, well, at least I assume it's everyone's favorite because no one's told me otherwise, is back. And we are here to get ready for the upcoming national championship, or as I like to call it, the live television sacrifice of Notre Dame so that Ryan Day can keep his job. Well, I would love to head right into the national championship. It would go against everything we believe on this show if we did not at least mention how Notre Dame and Ohio State advanced to the national championship. So grab yourself something to drink, hopefully a Dr. Pepper, you really don't love this show, and get ready to hear about how these two teams made it all the way to the end. Notre Dame entered the playoffs with perhaps the worst loss of any team in the field, a home defeat at the hands of Northern Illinois that left many questioning whether the Irish had the horses to keep up with the competition. Their opening victory over Indiana and coach Google Me Cignetti was expected, but nobody could have been prepared for the Fighting Irish to take down the Georgia Bulldogs. With the help of Georgia offensive coordinator Mike Bobo, Notre Dame's defense put the clamps down on the Dogs, preventing them from scoring often and forcing 2 turnovers that ultimately spelled the end of Georgia's short-lived playoff run. Notre Dame's semifinal against Penn State was an instant classic, a nail-biter that initially looked like it would go to whomever scored 10 points first, but turned into a momentum-swinging track meet in the fourth quarter. Penn State seemed to have the game in hand with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but the team's refusal to utilize their proficient ground game resulted in an interception from Drew Aller. From there, Notre Dame hit a walk-off field goal to ice the game and head to the national championship. Ohio State was hosting one of the first-round playoff games while drowning in criticism. The team had just lost to an undermanned, underperforming, unranked Michigan team for the 4th year in a row, resulting in the Buckeyes failing to reach the Big Ten title game. As the Tennessee Volunteers marched into Columbus, the nation was certain that this was going to be the end for Ryan Day's coaching tenure. Instead, Ohio State proceeded to go on one of the more impressive runs we've ever seen from a playoff team, blowing out Tennessee and Oregon en route to a Cotton Bowl matchup with Texas. Uncharacteristic penalties and the lack of explosiveness through the air kept Ohio State's offense from rolling as it had the previous 2 games. Texas's defense did its best to keep the Longhorns in the game while their offense struggled to run the ball. Ultimately, Ohio State's aggressive attack up front on defense resulted in a strip, sack, fumble recovery touchdown that put any hopes of a Texas comeback out of reach. Ohio State's march through the playoffs is a hard lesson for playoff expansionists to take. Their dreams of playoff Cinderellas ultimately going all the way has been fulfilled, except it was an established blue blood with a talented roster that underperformed in the regular season and would not have made it to the championship at any point in the past. Now let's get ready to dive into the second most important game of the entire college football season, and that is the national championship. It's always going to take a back seat to the Pop Tarts Bowl in my mind, and probably in the minds and hearts of many of you, I would hope. Notre Dame's run through the playoffs has been predicated entirely on old school football. They've won with special teams, they've won with defense, and they've won running the ball. However, this well-coached team has one glaring flaw. They can't throw the ball worth a crap. Seriously, they threw it for under 4 yards per attempt against Georgia. And I know it's Georgia, but even Jalen Milroe threw it for 11 yards per attempt against the Dogs this year. Do better, Notre Dame. I say do better in a facetious manner, but this team will really have to do better against Ohio State's defense. This unit was extremely good during the regular season, but has become absolutely menacing during the playoffs. The Buckeyes don't let you run, they don't let you hit explosive passes, and they create enough havoc up front to force turnovers on a regular basis. Ohio State's offense, while showing some sluggishness against Texas's top-notch defense, still possesses the biggest arsenal of weapons this side of the Pentagon. Travion Henderson and Quinshawn Judkins form a brutal 1-2 punch at running back, while freshman phenom Jeremiah Smith is a matchup nightmare for opposing secondaries. There is a lot to like about the way these two teams match up statistically on the field, but we've got a sneaking feeling about this game. Dog fans, look away for this one. Back in 2012, Alabama and Georgia played each other in the SEC title game. A trip to the national championship was on the line against a Notre Dame team that had beaten up on a weak schedule up to that point. Georgia came up just short, and Alabama advanced and destroyed Notre Dame 42-14. You guys seeing the similarities here? Notre Dame played a relatively weak schedule to the other playoff teams. Still lost to Northern Illinois because they're Notre Dame. Notre Dame also played Georgia without their starting quarterback and with Mike Bobo, which always helps the other team's defense, as we saw frequently this year. They also beat Penn State. That's a good win, But let's be real, Penn State handed them that game on a silver platter with a side of Dr. Pepper. On the other hand, Ohio State just got through with a close game with Texas. Came up with a big stop on 4th and goal. Thank you, Texas football, for promoting our show, by the way, to ice the game and head to the national championship. I feel like history has already told us how this game's going to go, but let's ask Stats and Info just in case. Stats and Info, what's the 4th and goal model telling us about this game?
Hi again, everyone. It's good to finally be speaking to you for the first time in feels like months. I want to thank you guys for the well wishes that I got when I was put in the hospital for a bad case of malnutrition. Yeah, that was a rough time, but I'm back here at work. Living conditions gone up. I got the lights back on in here. Oh man, it's just so nice to look at lights. Hurts my eyes a little bit, but glad I finally got some lights on in this place. And oh, I have toilet paper in here now. I was talking to Busby about the lack of facilities in here, so now I got this. So all's good in the neighborhood, as the kids would say. Well, anyways, let's dive into the national championship game. Been waiting a long time this year for this one. One of these teams kind of expected to be here, not gonna lie, at the beginning of the season. Other teams, certainly not. Never would have thought Notre Dame will make it all the way. Like, what the heck is the rest of college football doing if Notre Dame's finally winning big games? But if we're looking at the model here, the numbers, Ohio State has a top 10 unit in all four major categories. That's passing offense, rush offense, passing defense, and rush defense. Top 5 in all, no, no, excuse me, top 10 in all categories. Top 5 in running defense, passing offense. Running offense is merely top 10. I say that facetiously. They're a very good all-around football team. Positive turnover ratio per game. Talent is way on up there with the best of them, and as a result, they are currently our highest rated team in our 4th and goal models power rating system. Notre Dame, surprisingly, is actually the third highest power rated team in our model. This is the funny thing is our top 4 teams: Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, and Texas. The exact 4 semifinal teams. So it just goes to show you in this sport, the cream always rises to the top. Notre Dame also got some great numbers. I'm seeing a top 5 rushing attack on offense, a top 5 pass defense, looks like a top 20, I think, running defense. Yeah, top 20 running defense. All very good numbers, but there's one number that kind of stands out a bit, and it's that passing offense. It is bottom 20 in the 68 teams our model takes into account. We do not take into account group of 4 conferences, as Boise State unfortunately proved. What they do during the season doesn't really matter a whole heck of a lot. So we got this atrocious passing offense up against a really great passing defense. I mentioned top 5 in the country. And so I put these numbers into the model, and it spits this spread out. So pretty close to what Vegas has. If I checked, I think it was between 9 and 10 points. So we are a little bit higher than that, not too much higher than that. But this model is not predicting a straight forward blowout per se, but it is expecting a comfortable win from Ohio State. And
3 weeks ago, it had Alabama as a 19.5-point favorite over Georgia. And after Alabama almost
What's it doing?
This looks to be some signs of self-awareness again from the model, sir. I think I mentioned before that we use AI technology based on programming one of the greatest minds the sport has ever seen into this model.
Really? You did? Well, I'm flattered, Stats and Info.
All
Thank
due respect to you, Busby, we use Nick Saban's mind to train the AI systems that we implement into the model.
This model is the way we run it. 3 weeks ago, it had Alabama
Oh.
as a 19.5-point favorite over Georgia.
Alright, hang on, let me look at it.
After Alabama almost lost.
Oh, here we go. Back up and running, just like nothing ever happened. Yeah, same score. Ohio State winning by 13.8 points. So, 2-score win for Ohio State in the national championship. Not a bad end to the season.
Anyways, look, I'll give Notre Dame just a little bit of credit, no matter how much it pains me. I think they're going to find a way to make this game ugly in the first half. If Ohio State scores twice quickly, then just forget about it. It's over. I think Notre Dame's going to try to make a game of it in the first half. Maybe they'll get a turnover. Maybe Ohio State just won't run their offense right. I don't know. But I think that second half's going to be ugly. Look for Ryan Day to somehow, some way, save his job at the literal last minute and bring a national title to Ohio State. So, pretty exciting stuff. National title on the way. Oh yeah, I think it's exciting. If you don't think that's exciting, first off, go find a doctor. Then, like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you can learn more about how amazing this sport should be and why you should love it as much as we do. Take care, everyone.